Lane-8 is never the favorite spot in a final. You stand at the edge, the lights feel sharper, and every heartbeat feels louder. But Elavenil Valarivan showed the world that champions don't wait for perfect conditions, they build a perfect mindset. In Cairo, she turned pressure into precision, and Lane-8 into a reminder that the strongest finish doesn't come from comfort, it comes from character. The quiet lane where the real fight happens. Sometimes a final looks simple from outside: 8 athletes, 8 lanes, bright lights, quiet rifles, and the occasional applause. But inside that lane, especially lane number 8, there is a completely different world. A world where every tenth of a point feels like a mountain, where breath becomes heavier, and where the heartbeat becomes louder than the audience. And in this match, Elavenil Valarivan wasn't just shooting for a medal. She was fighting a battle of process, of consistency, and of mental truth. This is a story of what she did brilliantly, where she struggled, and what every young shooter must learn from her journey in that final. A coach's first impression, technical foundation. When she walked into lane 8, the first thing I noticed was her settled posture. Her feet placement had clarity. Her upper body had balance. Her rifle was sitting naturally into her shoulder pocket. No rush, no forcing. A shooter's first 20 seconds tell you everything about how the match might unfold. And Elavenil's first 20 seconds said, "I am ready. I trust my basics." Technical strengths at the start. Excellent body stillness. Very little muscular activity in the rifle shoulder. Rifle naturally aligned to center, minimal correction required. Trigger hand relaxed, no tension, no shaking. Sight picture entry was smooth, no abrupt movement inside the aiming ring. These are signs of a shooter who has trained her foundations for years. And they showed beautifully in her early shots. The first series, when process is beautiful, you could see the sharpness in her opening shots. Not because they were high scores, but because they were created correctly. Every shot had a clear setup, a proper breathing cycle, a calm aiming movement, and a clean trigger release. This is the golden zone for any elite shooter, when they're not trying to shoot well, but simply executing their process. To every young shooter watching this, the first 6 to 8 shots of a final should look like this: normal, steady, not emotional. Elavenil did that beautifully. Mid-match, the rise of pressure and the moment of control. Around the mid-match stage, something special happened. You could see that she had settled into her rhythm. The rifle movement became slightly smaller. Her hold time became consistent. Her recovery between shots had a calm flow. This is the phase where champions usually build momentum. And that's exactly what she did. Her mid-match strengths: smooth transitions between shots, consistent follow-through, stable hold with reduced drift, excellent group consistency. She looked composed, present, and focused. But in finals, the match doesn't test your strengths. It tests your weaknesses. And all weaknesses come out in the last 6 to 8 shots. The critical turn, when the scoreboard starts talking. Every shooter knows this moment. You don't need to look at the scoreboard. You feel it. You know you're close to the top. You know the gap is tiny. You know one shot can change everything. This is the exact moment where many shooters shift from shoot well to don't mess up. And this is where Elavenil's match began to change. The first small process leak. Her timing changed slightly, not dramatically, not obviously, but enough for a trained coach to notice. She began spending a little extra time on aim. Her trigger finger seemed slightly more cautious. Her natural flow slowed. This usually happens when the brain starts thinking, "I'm close. Just hold it a little more. Don't let this go." The more the brain chases perfection, the more the body loses its natural rhythm. This is what causes those 10.0, 9.9, or slightly wide 10s in finals. And they happened right where pressure is highest. The 2 shots that cost gold, and why they happened. Elavenil didn't shoot bad shots. She shot tiny process deviations that became tenths of a point. What a coach sees here is not a technical problem, but a timing problem. Why those small dips happen in finals. Micro tension in the trigger. Holding a fraction longer than needed. Slight change in breathing pause. Shooting more from hope than from flow. Emotional reaction from the previous shot. A shooter at her level doesn't miss because of bad technique. She misses because her mind tries too hard to protect the medal. This is the biggest difference between bronze and gold: mental timing control. What she could have done better, in pure coaching terms: 1. A more disciplined pre-shot reset. After a borderline shot, she needed a hard reset: deep breath. Shoulders relax. Body resets. Mind resets. This is a new shot. That one reset can save 0.2 to 0.4 points. 2. More aggressive commitment to trigger release. In pressure moments, she became slightly safe. Safe shooting leads to long hold times. Long hold times lead to mid-ring scores. 3. A tighter connection to rhythm. High pressure shots demand same rhythm, same tempo, same hold time. She drifted slightly from her natural rhythm when the match tightened. 4. Emotional neutrality. She reacted internally to one or two shots. In finals, even a 10.1 can shake a shooter's belief if the rival hits a 10.8. Reacting means losing micro-focus. Mental game. What she did well and what needed sharpening. Strengths: calm body language. No overreaction physically. Good breathing between shots. Solid composure for most of the match. What she needed at the end. A mental mantra: only this shot matters. A mindset shift: shoot the process, not the medal. A pressure rehearsal experience: simulate gold fight finishes in training. When pressure rises, the body doesn't need strength, it needs memory. And memory only comes from repetition under stress. The biggest learning for young shooters. If you're a young shooter watching this final, please understand one thing: gold medals are not won by big shots. They are won by tiny mistakes that you don't make. Key lessons. Early match is about technique. End match is about timing. Never change your rhythm because of pressure. If anything, make it tighter. One shot cannot define the next one. Reset like a machine. Trigger commitment must never change. Not even in the last two shots. Read your breath, not the scoreboard. You don't win finals with power. You win them with calm repetition. The end: why her bronze is still a golden lesson. Elavenil didn't lose gold. She showed the world how close she is to owning the finals. Her technical base is world-class. Her rhythm is world-class. Her mental structure is almost there. What she needs now is pressure-proofing. Not dramatic changes, just sharper end-zone discipline. And when she gets that, the day is not far when India sees her standing on top of the podium with a smile that says, "Today the process won." Disclaimer: the analysis shared in this video is based solely on my personal observation and professional experience as a rifle shooting coach, mental trainer, and armourer. These views are my own and are not officially verified through any interview or direct communication with the athlete. Actual reasons and insights from the shooter or her team may differ.